Good morning. Is my voice audible? Okay. So, first of all, welcome to you guys. And this is our Friendship Day and happy Friendship Day to all. And this is our July meetup. So, let me introduce myself. I am Bhavesh Daswani. I am host for today meetup. And this meetup is a special one. Like this, in this meetup, we are having panel discussion with the experts which are having more than 5 years of experience in Laravel. And also, we will have an AMA session, like Ask Me Anything session. So, be active, ask your query in the comment section, in the chat section, and let me give you a brief introduction of Laravel Live Ahmedabad. Laravel Live Ahmedabad was initially started on November 2018. From that onwards, we are continuously doing meetups on each month. And Laravel Ahmedabad is the most active community in Laravel, India. And due to this, our active, what we can say, due to our active community and you, Laragon India has been initiated and has been approved. And due to some like COVID reason, Laragon 2020 India will not be going to happen. But for sure, Laragon 2021 is going to happen in India. So that's a lots of great moment for us. And you can follow us on the Twitter, Slack, Facebook. I will share the link in the comment. So that's for that is all for me. I will like to introduce Hiren, which will continue the event. Welcome, Hiren.
Hey, thanks a lot, Bhavesh. So thank you for introducing the Laravel Live Ahmedabad. And yes, so let's start today's session. Hey, hello everyone. Thank you for joining today. On behalf of entire team of Laravel Live Ahmedabad, I welcome you all today for this unique session, which is the panel discussions and Ask Me Anything session. Today we are going to discuss on various topics of Laravel and related products of the Laravel related technologies with our experts. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment box and we will discuss the most exciting and relevant questions during the session. Okay, so now let's welcome our expert. Our first expert for today is Mitul. He is a very well-known face for Laravel community. He is CEO at Infiom Technologies. He has 8+ years of experience in Laravel and he has created 10 plus open source packages which has 1.8 plus million downloads. He is the organizer of Laravel Live Surat, and he has been speaker at 7 Laravel meetups. So hey, welcome Mitul. Thank you for joining today.
Yeah, thank you, Hiran.
Okay,
Hello, everyone.
yeah, okay. Now our next expert is Sarthak. He is founder of Bitfumes. He is a YouTuber and online instructor, and he has 4 years of experience with Laravel. Welcome, Sarthak. And
Yeah,
thank you for the surprise gift today. Guys, today someone from the audience who is staying throughout all the session and asking all the interesting and relevant questions will get an access to the course In-Depth Laravel by Sarthak. So Sarthak, thank you for this gift for our community.
yeah,
And
it's my pleasure. Yeah, thanks.
Sarthak, your voice is breaking.
Yeah. Uh, is it okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks for this welcome. And yeah, the winner will get one in-depth level course for free. And so be active here. That will be the only requirement.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Sarthak. Okay, our next expert is Gaurav. He is Laravel developer from Rajkot and runs a company called Freshbit. They have been developing solutions using Laravel and Vue.js for 4 years and have also developed some open source packages. Gaurav is also part of Laravel Rajkot core team and shares Laravel related updates Twitter on every week. So welcome Gaurav. Thank you for joining today.
Hello everyone. Nice to be here, and I'm pretty excited for the discussion today.
All right. Okay. So great. So we have all the experts for today now. So let's start with our discussion. So let's first start how you have started your journey with Laravel. So it's very important to know that because Laravel has been in the market since long, and you all experts must have started with some small thing and then grow big, right? So Mitul, first of all, can you share your experience on how you started with Laravel development?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, in terms of Laravel development, I started in early, I will say like 2012 or something when Laravel 4 beta was introduced. At that time, I was mostly working with, CodeIgniter, AMA PHP, and that kind of frameworks where there was no concept for, this kind of things, composers and everything. And then something popped up when I was something like surfing a web where someone was talking about this new framework. And the very first thing was interesting was that it was kind of looking like a very different thing. So something like, when you write user colon colon all and it retrieves all the data, it was completely new because we were, kind of had a habit of writing SQL queries, and this was totally eliminating of that. So that's how it was interesting. And I was specifically saying this framework as a magical framework because everything was seeing as a magic. So you write very less code and more things happens. And the documentation was also like, kind of promising, and community was promising. And then I jumped to Laravel, and after that, like lots of community grows, like Laravel 4 release 4.1, 4.2, and then 5 was a big game changer, I will say. So that is how I started. And yeah, so far the journey was really good and amazing.
Okay, right. Great. Thanks a lot, Mitul. Sarthak, would you like to share your experience on how you have started the Laravel development?
Okay, so basically for Laravel development, I started on with 5.3. It was in late 2016. So before that, as everyone had experience with the CI, the coordinator. But when I use coordinator, suddenly something pops in my mind. Like, let's search for the best framework, Laravel PHP framework. So it says, okay, so Google said Laravel, something comes in there, that's Laravel. So I said, okay, let's give it a try. But unlike the documentation of CodeIgniter, which is very straightforward, you need to just to go with the frame with the documentation. But in Laravel documentation, I found very, you can say, not a straightforward thing. You cannot just sit with the documentation and start learning Laravel because if you have installation, then suddenly you have a service provider, then you have facades, and then you have routes, and then you have eloquent queries. So it's I'm not saying the documentation is not good, but it's not for the beginners, totally beginners.
Right.
So then I started learning from obviously from the Jeffrey Way videos and some of the videos from YouTube, and that's the journey started. But the game-changing thing happened when I started the YouTube channel, and I started to teach the Laravel. So I basically started teaching Laravel from 5.4. I took it seriously from 5.4. So then 5.4 and so on till now. Still, I'm sharing all my knowledge of Laravel. And the best thing I feel Laravel has is its community, because if you have any question, you just put it on Twitter or anywhere on Stack Overflow, you will get instant answer from the experts, and that's the best thing for learning anything. If you have the professional people to help you, and that way you will going to learn things very easily. So that's the best part of Laravel, and obviously the framework is really awesome.
Right, right, right. Yes, that's great, Sarthak. Gaurav, please share your journey on how you have started development with the Laravel.
Yes, for me as well, I was doing CodeIgniter when I started. I started with PHP in around 2012, and then was doing pure core PHP at that time. Then went on to CodeIgniter. Then it was Cake PHP, which was really good compared to CodeIgniter. We were enjoying the development. Then I tried V framework, YII,
Okay.
which was very challenging. And then I was questioning my abilities that time. That how is it very hard for me to understand what is going on? It was MVC framework, just like it is MVC framework, just like Laravel. But maybe because my foundation was not very good, I could not understand what's going on. So the first thing that I want to share with everyone today is that in case when you see Laravel syntax for the first time and then you don't understand how this thing is working, please don't just think that you are not getting it, or the fault is in you. Some things are done in a way where, as Mithul said, there is some magic underneath. There are so many things going on that can be understood only after you have pretty solid understanding of how PHP works in general. So it is okay if you don't understand something. You just get in touch with someone you know and who knows how things work, and ask them. So at that time, I just decided that I don't want to try any frameworks because it was very hard. And then around 2015, when there was Laravel 5, for a project, I just thought I should try Laravel because few of my friends say it is very easy. So I thought, okay, let's go for it. And then just like Mithul, I found it very magical. And as Sathak shared, Laracast, which is run by Jeffrey Way and has very, very good tutorials to learn Laravel and PHP. That was like a blessing. I could understand things very well. So I suggest everyone to try and watch Laracast videos if they can. And also the community, it was a very, very good, it is very good community where you get answers to most of your questions. So till and from then on, I always mostly worked with Laravel. It is a very good framework, and yeah, I just love working with it, and I suggest everyone to just not stop it. We have a very good community here in Lara Ahmedabad and so many others. So there is a support system. So I would just suggest, yeah, just go for it from wherever you're starting. There is a bright future ahead.
Right, right. That's correctly said by all the experts that Laravel has some magic, and as a developer, we always tend to attract to that particular magic, and that's why the Laravel community is growing really fast. Gaurav, you are also part of Laravel Rajkot. So, would you like to share how you are helping the Laravel developers with the Laravel Rajkot community?
Yes, so we run the Laravel meetups here in Rajkot too. Not as frequent as Laravel Ahmedabad community, which is doing meetups every month, which is quite impressive. Our average before Corona was around a meetup every 1.5 to 2 months, and we have a specific set of people, like around 50 participants who are like general, and we have that much of a group kind of where we just join, we just go for it and have fun. We are not very specific to Laravel. We are also trying other related technologies these days, which is like we also went for Vue.js. We also recently did a Docker workshop. So yeah, we are building like a community where we can do all the things together. But yeah, the base is Laravel. Most of the sessions have been around Laravel, and it's fun. Due to Corona, we have not been able to do a physical meetup since March, but we enjoy stuff, and it's a pretty learning opportunity, and also we get to meet pretty exciting people who are at a very great level in various industries. So yeah, it's fun. We enjoy it a lot.
Right, right. That's great, great, Gaurav. So it's very exciting to see that how you are growing the Laravel Rajkot community. Also, our expert Mitul is associated with Laravel Surat. So, Mitul, can you please share what you are doing with the Laravel Surat community to help Laravel developers?
Yeah.
Industries. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So we are having regular meetups before this Corona thing, and we are having regular meetups in Surat every month. And we specifically discuss mostly like Laravel things. Some meetups we did for this kind of thing as well, where we have ask me anything kind of things. And since then, lots of people are joining. Even our last meetup was a major game changer. I will say like 70 to 80 people we joined in Surat, which was completely unexpected thing. But yeah, people are getting more aware of Laravel. More people are moving to Laravel after coming into the meetup. More people are also attending now meetups in Surat. So I will say it is going really amazing. Laravel community is growing everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really right. Laravel community is really growing in all the cities, and all more and more developer are going towards the Laravel, and that's awesome. Yeah, you guys are doing really good job. And today you have joined us as an expert. So all of our audience would like to know how you have reached to that particular level with this Laravel. And this is the question asked by our community members, Snehal and Silas Jain. The question is, best way to learn Laravel, and how to get expertise in Laravel because the documentation is not enough to do this. So, can you discuss another way? Sarthak, would you like to comment on this? What is the best way to learn Laravel?
Yeah, first, and thanks for the question. And yes, I agree with the question totally that documentation is not enough to just learn Laravel because, as I said before, documentation is not for the beginners. It is really awesome, top-notch documentation for the intermediate or the professionals, but not for the beginners. So, how to get started with this one? So the first thing is obviously start with Laracast or from my channel. So what you need to do, you just need to first get familiar with the things like when you are trying to let's say you are trying to build a house. So what you need to have first, you need to know the tools to build a house. If you don't know what tools you have, how you can build a house? So it's the same. You are going to build a website. So if you know the tool, and the tool is Laravel. If you know the tool, how to use that tool, and what are the tools you have inside that framework, just get familiar with that. So don't worry about if you are not getting it. Just remember that okay, there is some routing system, there is some service facade system, service container facade systems are there. So just get to know with the key terms. And once you get familiar with the ecosystem of Laravel, then start doing things, because when you do something you will surely get errors and you will have some bugs. And then there are experts all of the world spread all around there on the Twitter, on Stack Overflow, and try to connect with the people. And the best way to connect with the people is on the Twitter. So my first advice is just get familiar with the ecosystem. The second is start doing things, and the third is get into a community, because community is always going to push you. So this is the best way to get started with the uh, Laravel, because after that all the things is inside the documentation.
All right. Yeah, that's a really great advice, Sarthak. And of course, as you have said that most of the developers are not there in on the Twitter or on the community. So
Yeah,
we encourage all the Laravel developers to follow various communities of the Laravel and to be a part of community so that they can know what are the updates and all. Right. Mitul, would you like to add something to what Sarthak has said?
Yeah, I think Sarthak almost covered. Just like get started with the channel, like Sarthak is really doing a good job. His course is really good, so you can go with that as well if you are a learner. Laracas, as mentioned, that is also a good thing. And yeah, get well, get familiar with the community, even on Twitter as well as in our Laravel India Slack community. Lots of people are putting questions there and they are getting their solutions as well. Even I provided like sometimes solutions to lots of questions. So once you get familiar with the community, you can get lots of learning material there as well. And once you get little bit familiar with Laravel's building blocks and that kind of thing, I will also suggest you review some open source code. Lots of Laravel applications are already open source. You go for that, you see how they are writing code, how they are following the best practices, which are those best practices. So that can be one another good way where you can write some really good code and you can understand the code.
Right, definitely. That is really helpful advice. Gaurav, do you think anything is missed here? Would you like to share anything else for the best way to learn Laravel?
Uh, well, yeah, nothing is missed. Most of the points, important points, I would say, are covered. If I were to start today to learn Laravel or any other related thing which is what I wish to learn, and it is complex enough, I would go for either documentation or videos, whichever I like the most. It
Oh,
is it is true that documentation can be hard for some people to understand, but sometimes someone's taste is more in reading. Someone likes to read and learn. Someone likes to watch videos and learn. Someone likes to take courses. Someone likes to go to classes. Whichever is your taste, just go for it. But this is not the most important step. The most important step that you need to focus whenever you're learning Laravel or anything else, you need to do it yourself. You need to actually sit down and practice things. You should be ready to fail. You should be ready to ask. So just do it yourself. Some just anyhow get things done. Have a goal that okay, I want to make a basic application. Let's say basic create, retrieve, update, delete, or hello world. You start with hello world, then do create, retrieve, update, delete. Then you do REST API. I think there are many steps one by one. Do Ajax, do authentication, but just somehow make things work. Whichever way you like, just make it work. Once it is ready, ask questions. Get in touch with the community. We have a very good community. Ask on Twitter, ask on Stack Overflow, ask questions. Then, so first step you already covered, which is more important, is to get things done. And then next, go and do it in a better way. And for that, as Mithul suggested, check open source code. Check, there are many good projects open source done in Laravel. Just check how they are done, whether they're doing it in a better way. You just need to make sure that your code is readable enough, your code is maintainable enough, and then preferably also do tests and all the stuff. But the most important part is do it, make it working first, then do it better by checking the other people's code in open source. Also, you can create your own open source projects. That is the most affecting thing that where I learned the very detailed aspects of Laravel. That happened when I actually went and created an open source project, because that's when you have to go in deep. You have to check how things are made. You have to check what goes on behind the scenes. You have to unveil the magic. That's when you become an expert. So there are two questions from Snehal and Shailesh here. First is best way to learn, which we covered, which is what you like and do it yourself. Second is how to be expert. For that, yeah, just create your own open source projects, and as Sarthak suggested, follow main people on Twitter. Just see what they are up to. Just learn them whenever applicable. Have your own path. Decide what you wish to do, and just stay focused. You will surely get that in very short time.
right, right. So yes, that's a really good advice from all the experts on how to start the Laravel development and how to get expertise in it. So yeah, as the all experts are mentioned, that best way to do is to do the things. So start working on the Laravel and try to dig more into it, connect with the experts, be active in the community, ask as many questions as possible, and then definitely you can achieve what our experts are today. Right. So
One,
now,
Hiren, sorry, I
yeah,
just like to add one more thing.
sure,
Is,
sure.
everyone is saying, including me, that you need to do things. You need to try to write code. Like Gaurav says, you need to write your hello world and then move on. But what happens while you are learning is after some time, like after 1 or 2 days or maybe a week, you get frustrated because things are not going as you have planned. So that's happening because you are learning in a closed circle maybe, or just learning alone. So that's the point. I would like to clarify that whenever you are learning something, even if it is just a simple installation, even if it is just a hello world example, you need to take a screenshot and share it on Twitter, or maybe on Instagram, or anywhere where the people of that community is available. So what happened with that? People will obviously congratulate you. People will try to help you out, and most importantly, that people will guide you. what you need to do next. So suppose I have today I started learning Laravel, and the first thing I did, and I just learned how to install a Laravel on my local machine. Then very next day I get into the controllers. Then obviously someone from the community says, "Hey Sarthak, don't just jump into the controller. Just try to learn the file structure of Laravel." So in that way, you will automatically get helped or automatically get cleared when you are doing something wrong. When you are sharing every day, every time, whatever you are doing. This is the most important thing, I think.
Right. All right. So, okay. So now let's talk about some of the updates. So let's talk about Laravel updates. Like you all are very much active on the Twitter, and you all are following various the experts and various well-known personality of the Laravel. Would you like to share on what's the new thing coming in upcoming Laravel versions? Gaurav, we'll start with you. Would you like to share what is the upcoming updates in Laravel?
Sure. So before we go into that, I would like to share one important thing, which is the versioning policy of Laravel. Initially, it was like 5, then 5.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 5.8, it was 6, and then from 6, it was directly 7. So from 6, they have actually changed the versioning policy, and they are now following the purely semantic versioning. So many people just ask that, okay, from 5.8 to 6, it would be easier. Than 6 to 7, it would be very hard. But that is not the case. The changes are the same. They release the new versions every 6 months. So the next version is now 8.x. The current version is 7.x. So it can be 7 point anything now. And then next version, which is coming in next month, first week of September, I guess, it will be 8.x. But the differences will be similar as it was in 5.5 to 5.6 or 5.6 to 5.7. And the major things that are coming in the version 8 that I'm pretty excited about are, okay, let me share my screen. Just a second. Screen 2. Okay, so let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it. Can you just increase the resolution of the screen bit so people can read it?
Okay, so let me zoom in.
Yes, yes. Now it's better.
Okay, so I have the GitHub page open. This is Laravel framework, which is the actual framework repository. Laravel/Laravel is actually the skeleton application, and then Laravel/framework is the GitHub repository where they maintain the actual framework. So I have some tabs open, and I want to discuss the three of the updates which are I'm pretty excited about. The first one, which everyone was asking about, is the models directory. So everyone wants to put, or most of the guys wants to put the models or eloquent models in the specific models directory. So Taylor Otwell, who is the creator of Laravel, did a very smart thing. If you have a models directory in your project structure, and then when you use the generator commands like PHP artisan make model and related, that model will be created inside app models instead of the directory app directory now, which is a welcome change from the community. As we can see, everyone is pretty excited about this, which is good. Many people were complaining about this from the very beginning. So this is a welcome change, which will come in 8.x. The next, which is something that is going to help me and also many other developers the most, is about schema dump. So what happens is, we use migrations to create the tables in the database, and also whenever there are any new updates. So what happens is, whenever there is a very big application which is running for more than, say, 3-4 months, or sometimes in years, the migrations folder becomes very, very big, because there are so many migrations due to new tables and also updates in the existing tables, and we have to maintain them. And also when we are running tests, it becomes very, very slow. So with this change, there's a new command called PHP artisan schema dump, and what it does is it creates this .mysql file and removes all the other migrations, existing migrations. So we don't have to carry the 3 years of work with migrations with us always. Once we do this, everything is from scratch again. We have just one file that we use, and the benefits are, as I said, tests can run much faster now, and also your migrations directory, which would be full of files, becomes very very small now. So this is also something that is going to help the production applications the most. And the last thing is improved maintenance mode. Although we don't use it much, but whenever we do, it will be very beneficial now when we are working with multiple people. So initially, it was just about you make it just do PHP artisan down, and then it would just display the maintenance page. But now there are some pre-rendered templates. You can say that, okay, I want to display this template when I put it in maintenance mode. Then initially it was like you have to allow IP based in your code, but now you can just add a secret, so people from your team can access the website using the secret. For public, it stays in the maintenance mode. Then you can also redirect. You can also do the status code, specific status code. So there are many more options for the maintenance mode now. So these three updates are some of the important updates that are gonna make the Laravel framework much better when the 8.x version arrives in the first week of next month.
Okay.
That's it. There may be some more updates that other experts would like to share, I guess, but that is from my side.
Sure, sure. Yeah, that's thanks. Thanks for sharing the screen, Gaurav, and explaining about the update side. That was really an exciting update, and it's really gonna help all the Laravel developers. Mitul, would you like to add something to this? If you are familiar with what all the new things are coming, except from what Gaurav has mentioned.
Yeah, those three updates are really major. I think the next two, three updates are one I would like to share is like as we are working with Laravel, we all know it supports localization, and but almost in all of most of the cases we don't go for localization. We just use like just a static English text. So I think in Laravel 8 they are going to make translation package optional, so it will not be added by default, but if you want to add, we can add that if you want to use localization into our application. So that is one update. Another update that I see is like file system is going to be upgraded to V2, so that can have some breaking changes as well. Yeah, apart from that, it is also going to support, I think, the raw HTML into blade component rendering. So that will be one more thing where we are mostly, if you are mostly working with building blade components a lot. So those are the three updates that I see will be useful to lots of people.
All right. Okay, yeah, that's great. Okay, so Satak, I would like to ask you that when the new Laravel releases are coming and it's very hard to match up with the latest updates, so would you like to share some advices on how the Laravel developers can match up with the new versions of the Laravel?
Okay, well, yeah, surely its release cycle is 6 months. For most of the people, it is too fast. But in my opinion, this is not too fast. It's just an update. There are no breaking changes with every update, so people don't have to worry about things. And coming up the matching the latest updates. So as Gaurav has explained about the Laravel 8, which is not released. So how did Gaurav approached that? He just he just is into the community, and Taylor he's following Taylor often. So whenever Taylor try to update something about next releases, he just go and dig into that feature. So just like he has shared three new features which is coming into Laravel 8, and he is really prepared with the new version. So as soon as the new version will release, Gaurav or any person who has the knowledge before releasing of the actual version will be excited for that release and will going to really update its project if possible. So this is the one thing that when before releasing of the new version, you just need to know about the things which is going to be inside the new version. And how you're going to know? You just need to follow the big players like Killer Rockwell, Mohammed Said, and and obviously this is the core team, and obviously some others like the Freak is there, Salad is there. So everyone is tweeting and sharing the new update. So once you get that, try to see what was the problem and what is in the new update that is solving the problem, because update is always for the solving of the problem. So maybe you have not faced that problem, but because there is an update, you will get to know the thinking process of the people. And once you have the knowledge of the new update, you are going to be excited for that, and you will going to update. Next major thing is updating the existing project to the new version. So there will be, if you are creating a Laravel application, you are going to use lots of open source projects, and it may happen that some of your package will not get updated for the next version. So that's the little issue with updating with the latest version. But if you are using the package from Spaces, from Beyond Code, or from the active open source maintainers, then there will be no issue, because once uh, there is a new update, the open source package will also get the update for that particular version. So this is the two things. One is follow the people and get to know and get into that feature why there is an update. And second is update your existing project if possible.
Right. Right, right. So that's great advice, Sarthak. Okay, now it's time to take the questions from the live audience. Team, can you flash the questions which are coming from the viewers? Okay, so we have a question from Sanket Adyaru. Many developer follows repository pattern for the Laravel project and many don't. What would be the best project structure for the Laravel? Okay, so I would like to ask this question to experts. Mitul, Gaurav, Sarthak, would you like to say something about this question?
Yeah, I can.
Sure, Mitul.
So yeah, repository pattern I'm almost using since 4 or 5 years, I will say, and uh, I will say in any enterprise project when you're using now there are lots of patterns which can be used like Laravel action is one another pattern, but basically the goal behind every pattern is the same, where you can write some reusable logic which is being used at multiple places. So say like there are 3 places from where you are creating a record, and after creating a record you need to execute 5 other steps, so you can wrap that up into a repository. So that is the same goal behind that, and that logic should be something like, where you are doing multiple things, so it should not be placed into one particular model. So say like when I create a user, I need to go and create a default company, then I need to go and execute one job, then I need to go and create something else in some other table, something like that. So whenever that kind of requirement is there, I will say you go for repository pattern. And the best project structure, I will say you just have one repository folder into that. And if you want to bind it with the interface, if you have multiple implementations for repository, then you can do that as well. Otherwise, I will say you just go for repository pattern without creating interfaces and contracts, that kind of thing. So yeah, that is the basic goal behind repository pattern, where you can pass even model dynamically if you want to, if you are planning to change your model in future. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thanks a lot, Mitul, for that detailed explanation. Uh, Hope we have answered that question. Gaurav and Sarthak, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah. So, well, I have not used repository pattern in lots of projects, maybe used in one or two. And whenever deciding whether we should go for any specific pattern or not is more about whether it makes sense in this project or not. All the different patterns that are available to us, they have a purpose. They apply in some of the cases, and they are not good in some of the cases. So from my side, if I would maybe change this question is that when to use repository pattern and when not to use the repository pattern, and Mithul has already answered that question. But my input would be just that none of the patterns are best, or none of the patterns are a solution to all of your problems. When you're starting, just go with the basics and try to follow the basics, and whatever is being followed in the Laravel framework itself. Just follow those conventions, and over time you will realize yourself that you need to make some changes. For example, if your controllers are getting too big, you need to do something about them, and then you will surely find answers to your question, and repository pattern will be one of your answers. So
Okay.
maybe try to go from the basic and do whenever you need it, rather than when someone says that he used a repository pattern and he saved that much time or it was easier, but his project was an enterprise project and yours is not that enterprise project, so it does not apply directly to you. So that's
Okay.
what my input would be here.
Right, right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Gaurav, for adding to what Mitul has said. Okay, can we have the next question, please? Okay, so next question is from Sanket again. Which approach is best for the larger projects? Okay, sorry. Okay, so question is using inbuilt Laravel UI functionality for Vue and React, or use explicitly Vue and React and integrate. Okay. Yes, experts. Anyone would like to answer this question?
Yeah, sure, sure. Question is using inbuilt UI. Okay, so I would like to say, if you have, because now everything is going mobile, and you are always trying to create APIs in your Laravel application. So it will be always good to go with you can say separate view or React application, because the code are same. Whatever you want to write on the view, if you are using it as an integrated view, you need to write it same code on your separate view if you are using it. So I would say, if that thing is there, so why not go with a separate thing? Because maybe view is very good in today's time, but maybe after 1 year or 2 year, React will become so popular, or maybe Svelte will emerge out with nowhere. So it will be very good if you can easily switch from your Vue application to Svelte of application, because currently Laravel doesn't have any Svelte integration. So it will be very good if you are having a separate thing. It will be easy to switch. Second is, when you are creating API, you are creating API for your Vue or React application, then you will be having the same API. It is available for your mobile application or maybe for something else. It also can happen. You can create an API with an integrated view, but I have seen people have not created, generally not created the APIs when they have used the integrated view or React. So go with the explicit view and React.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Sarthak, for answering these questions. Team, can you help next question, please? Okay. So next question is from Albert. I have a Laravel app based on version 5.7. Now I'm planning on upgrading to hopefully the latest. Which approach is best, and how do I manage package issues that may occur, not forgetting the changes to migration? Okay. So experts, please answer this question. What is the best approach for updating the Laravel version in the project?
Okay,
I will
so
say, uh,
yes, Mitul, please go ahead.
Yeah.
yeah, Gaurav, please go ahead.
Okay. Um, so again, one thing that everyone needs to know is that framework updates should be one by one only. So when you, let's say you are on 5.7 now, so you should never jump to or skip any of the versions in between. So you cannot go directly to 6. You have to go to 5.8 first. You should go to 5.8 first. And if you have if it's a production project and client has budget, you can use something called Laravel Shift, which is a paid service, which can help you. It will do some of the basic things for you automatically, and then you can do some checks. If your test you can run, you can make updates. It will save some of your time for you. But if that is not the case, then just follow the official documentation. In each of the versions, they are providing the upgrade guide. So in go to 5.8 first, check the upgrade guide, which will show how you can upgrade from 5.7 to 5.8. And just make sure that you follow all the necessary steps. In fact, they are also now displaying what are the possibilities of it affecting your application, whether it's low, medium, or high. And then there is also one other important change that, in fact, let me share my screen again. Give me a second. Share screen. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
No, 1 minute. Team, can you please add Sarthak's screen? Yeah,
Okay.
has
Perfect.
come in.
So let's say in this case, we would go to 5.8 documentation. Let me zoom in case you can't see. And then go to prologue and upgrade guide. So this one is showing how you can upgrade from 5.7 to 5.8. And then you can see this list. Just go through one by one. Make sure that you don't miss anything. Again, Albert has already mentioned that we need to make sure that open packages that we're using, also we need to check the upgrade guide for them, each of them. And lastly, this important thing is something that I've seen many people miss, which is this comparing what are the changes in your skeleton application. So Laravel, as I said, is a skeleton application, and then we need to check what are the changes here. They don't affect you directly, but the future updates will be easier if you check these as well. So all you need to do is the link is already given, and then you just need to go through this and make changes wherever applicable. This really saves you a lot of time in future. Not now necessarily, because there are no breaking changes. If there are any, they would display in the documentation. But you should not skip this step. You should cover this as well. And also for each of the packages, as I said, you need to check upgrade guide and do it. And then that is why we always suggest to write tests for your application, because if your application is big, you cannot do manual testing every time you upgrade the framework, and there are some chances that something may break after your framework upgrade. So if you have tests, you can just quickly run them, and it will be really easy job to upgrade versions one by one.
Right. Yeah, that was really helpful, Sarthak. And since we have discussed about the packages, and as we all know that Laravel uses, there are lots of packages, open source packages available for the Laravel project, and there are a lot of developers who are creating the packages. And so, Mitul, you have created so many packages which are very popular and has got millions of downloads. Would you like to share what are the most important, or which are the packages which are widely used in almost all the projects? And would also it would be good if you can share about your package which is very popular. So that will really help our audience.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of packages, yeah, the package system of Laravel is really rich. Almost you search for something and that will be already built by someone else and you can directly use that. And that is the power of Laravel actually, not just a Laravel. So and yeah, like the basic or the must use packages that I use in almost every of the project is one is ID helper, which is really good to generate the documentations of models for properties and even for the auto completion of the things. So ID helper is one package. The second is debug bar that I use in all of my projects to see what kind of or how many queries are running, to measure some performance of the functions. The third I will say is like Laravel microscope. So I literally run that and see if there is any scope for code optimization, some if and else statements, some other things. So it can search all of your code and it can give you the input about optimizing it. Even it can fix it. The fourth is, I think, Laravel Query Detector. So that is really one good package where, the main problem is we don't remember how many queries are fired. And whenever we forgot to do eager loading, lots of queries are being fired. So say like I have one model and then I'm retrying relationship for it. Then I am retrying another relationship of that relation. And if I have 100 records, then ultimately it will end up in 1,000 queries. So that is something we don't know when we are doing ongoing development. So that package will really help to, it will give you the alert when this kind of things is happening. So that is the four packages that I use. Apart from that, I use my package, which is Infiom Labs / Laravel generator. The idea behind that was like when I started working with Laravel and when Laravel 5 was released, um almost I was to create any CRUD. What I was doing, I was creating model, controller, then migration, then view files, and then routes and everything else. So that was same. So the idea was like how I can automate that. The console commands were there, but it was individually generating all the things. But my screens were same. The different was like, the matter of the fields and how I want to render it. So that was the thing, and that is how I came up with the idea. Like I can create this package, and maybe lots of people are already facing this challenge. So I created that package, which can generate, like, you just specify fields that you need, and it will generate the full CRUD for you in a minutes, I will say. And you can save the schema, and lots of options are there. You can go and check that out. Even lots of people are using it, and that is how I created my first package. And then step by step, whenever I think that this is something that I am doing repetitively, or this is something that community can use, I just take this code out and just create a package for it. And that is how it works. So even lots of people ask me questions like that in lots of meetups as well, like how you create a package, or how I can create a package, from where I can get the idea. So you don't need to go anywhere. Just look at your code and see what code can be used by someone else as well that you have done. Because every day you will be doing lots of integrations in other third-party application services, that kind of thing. So I will suggest just go into your code, check what can be used by other people as well. Take that code, create a package, create a repo, and put it. It will just work. So yeah, that is what like I can share about packages.
Yeah, that's really great answer, Mitul, and thanks for sharing the most used packages which you use and which can be used by most of the Laravel developers, and that will really help them for easing out their application. So as Mitul has mentioned, that when you feel that there is something repetitive you are doing, and when you feel that this can be reused, so definitely you should think about creating the package. Now, we all know that when we are working with the Laravel project and when we are deploying those Laravel project to the server, whether it's a private server or the shared server, we definitely face certain issues. For example, removing the slash public from the URL, or on the server, we face the file permissions issues. So, Gaurav, I would like to ask you, can you mention that how, as a developer, we can overcome these challenges of deploying Laravel projects to the shared server?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I would like to suggest is that whatever we do, we should always follow the official sources. And even before that, my suggestion is preferably not to use shared hosting to run Laravel applications. Laravel is not made for that. Many of the times you need to SSH into the server and do a few things like running PHP Artisan Tinker, or do the migrations and some other stuff. And when in most of the shared hosting, you do not get the SSH access, which means you cannot log into the server and do whatever you want to do, which will affect you whenever you have a production application in Laravel and you want to do something. And also, many people just try to remove the public from the URL, especially when they're getting started from with Laravel. And first, they need to understand why there is slash public in the Laravel applications, and why it starts from the index.php file inside the public directory. So it is actually for the security of our applications. Many times we hear and we see that the some hacker from the other country hacked your application, and it deleted the databases, or took the backup of your databases, or somehow they did something which you don't want them to do. And that happens when you do not take care of the security side of your web application. You need to understand that whenever you upload your files to the server, you are just pretty much putting them in front of everyone. And using HTTP, if you have things open, they can do. You should not keep any security vulnerabilities. And to stop that, Laravel by default, what it does is it tells you to keep the document root of your website inside public index.php. So what happens is everything above that document root is not accessible via HTTP, which is what you want. So no one can see your config files, no one can see your app directory, no one can see your env file, which is the most important. So, and that is why you should never try to remove public from a URL by checking some Stack Overflow answer or something. Please never do it, because it will affect the security of your application. Preferably go for the not for the shared hosting, go for some other options whenever possible. And if you have to, just somehow make sure that you make the document root of your application to the public directory of your website, and not to the directly inside the main root of the directory. That is what I want to suggest for this. Again, for the permissions issue, never just do 777 when you just can't make things work. Understand what is going on, ask in the community. That's why we have this community, right? Ask in Stack Overflow. Never do 777 to just solve the permissions issues quickly. Please never do it. And I guess Mithul has also lots of experience with this part, so maybe he wants to, if he wants to add something to this part, I surely would like to hear from him.
Definitely. Yes, Mithul, can you share?
Yeah, like lots of time it is not always in our control. Like I also preferably say you go for SSH, because you cannot, sometimes you cannot install everything on shared hosting because of lots of restrictions, and it always delay your application deployment and something like that. But if you have to, like because of the client has a shared hosting, or sometimes that kind of issue comes when client doesn't prefer SSH. So I'm sharing one link in the YouTube comments, where like I particularly like how I do it. I create one htaccess file which will restrict your env and everything, which is really important point that Gaurav highlighted. Like nobody can steal your data, your credentials, and that kind of thing. So that is how you can remove the public URL from the your application path. But yeah, just see like your all files are protected, nobody can read it. That will be really important, because on shared hosting it is really easy to like get hacked if you are not properly protected. So that is what like I can share.
All right. Okay, so let's take more questions from our audience. And there was one question asked by Kumar Parekh. He is facing an issue in terms of the crons. So the question is that he has one application where the multiple crons are running, but at any given point of time, only one cron is executed. Other crons are not working. So I would like to ask the experts, any idea on what could be wrong over here?
Can you team please highlight that question?
That question is actually coming in the form. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Then can
So,
you repeat it please, Hiren,
yeah,
again?
yeah, sure. The question is that they have a application, Laravel application, where there are multiple crons, and they are running the cron by using a scheduler. But at any given point of time, they have only one cron which is executed. Other crons, the other scheduler, other crons which are scheduled are not executed. So, uh, any idea on what could be wrong over here?
Honestly, like rather than this is purely subjective thing to the code, like what can be wrong. But what I will suggest, like they go and check the timing of their cron.
Yes.
If their first cron is ever completed or that is not completed at all,
Mhm.
uh, and yeah, that can maybe be the starting point to debug it out. I'm not sure. Maybe Gaurav and Sarthak can add more to it.
Yes. Gaurav Sadhak, would you like to
Yeah,
say?
yeah. No, yeah, as in Middle said, it's totally subjective thing, and think many things could be wrong there. And first, I'm not going to repeat things, but just follow the advice Middle has given, because there are a lot of things that could be wrong. And he can obviously share in public if it is shareable to everyone, so we can have a look into that and we can help there.
Sure, sure, definitely. All right, so let's take more questions from the audience. Team, can you flash the next question which we have? Okay, the question is from Murtuza Barmal. When integrating any payment gateway method in Laravel, what is the most secure and good one using Laravel packages to following the official document of payment gateway? Yeah, experts, would you like to answer this question?
Okay, so when using package has limitation. If he is talking about the official packages, so packages has
It's 12 o'clock.
sorry about that. So packages has some limitations because you cannot do everything. And sometimes what I have faced while integrating the payment gateway, like which are not so famous like Stripe and other, they have not upgraded their official documentation, official package for PHP. Maybe there will be no package for Laravel, but there will be a package for PHP. So in every kind of packages, where it is a package for PHP or Python or everywhere, every package is doing some kind of curl operation or some kind of API hitting at the end. So I would suggest, if there is not a good package, then go with the documentation. And obviously, as a secured one is the official, the packages, because package maintainers have all the covered all the areas of vulnerabilities. They have thought about the securities issues and every good things. So first, go with the package. If there is no package available or no good package available, then obviously you don't have any option. You can and yeah, at that point there is a good opportunity to create a good package for that payment gateway. So I would suggest, if there is no package available or there is no good package available, just write your own package, and that way you are contributing, plus you are learning, plus you have a very nice package.
Right. Right. So yeah, that's a really good answer. Mitul and Gaurav, would you like to add anything to this question?
Uh, yeah. So again, what I understood from this question is that whenever someone wants to integrate a new payment gateway, uh, whether they should, if there is a Laravel package already, they should use this, or instead of that, they should follow the official documentation and directly do it. So the example is given that if they want to say do the M-Pesa payment gateway integration, how should they do it? So again, as Sarthak mentioned, if there is a package already which is well maintained, which is up to date, which has the functionality that you need, and also it's like updated recently, then you should, it is good and it is okay to use it. It will surely save your time. And also, if you find any issues with that, or if you find anything that you can improve upon, you can also contribute back to that project by creating issues, by creating pull requests, by updating the documentation. There are many ways, and actually that's where the true learning lies, and you want to go to the next level. And if not, if there is no package already, then as Mithul said, just code it in your own and convert it into the package. That is the policy that many of the developers follow. In fact, Spashi, that you may have heard of, that agency, that they mostly, what they do is whenever they find that there is a functionality, new functionality that they are doing in their own client projects, which can be used by someone else, they just convert it into the package. And the benefits are that it becomes reusable. So if you need the same payment integration in other any other project of yours, you can just directly use it. You can also make updates with it, and also community can use it. And you will make new friends. You will learn a lot, and it will be a game changing thing for sure. So the end way is that you'll surely go for a package. Either if there is an existing package which is very good, just go for it and contribute back. If not, develop your own.
Right. That's great. That's thank you for your comments, Gaurav. Tim, can we have the next question, please? Can we have next question? Okay. While the next question is coming up, let's continue with our discussion. So now, most of the time when we are building the Laravel application, either it's the web application or some the API development. And we all know that for the API development, we have something called Laravel Human, which is a microservice framework, and it is good, really good, meant for the API. So here, Sarthak, I would like to ask you that if what is the best way, like whether we should go for creating the APIs on the Laravel, or we should go for APIs for the Laravel Human. What is your suggestion?
Okay, so yeah, there is two things: a Laravel framework and a Laravel micro framework that is called Lumen. And Lumen is basically designed for creating the APIs, and the whole concept and the targeted audience for Lumen is creating the API. And this is created, and this is if I can share the screen, let me share it.
Yeah, team, please add Sarthak's screen to the stream.
Is it visible?
No, not yet. Yes, now it's visible.
It's visible. So this is the documentation of Lumen, and straightly it says stunningly fast micro framework by Laravel. So it has every feature of Laravel. So if you are creating an API in Lumen, and if you have already created API in Laravel, you will feel no difference. But the real difference comes when you use it in a production, because this Lumen framework doesn't have the unnecessary things which you will never going to use when you are creating an API. Like maybe if you are using views, then you will not going to use any view like blade file in your API, then you don't need that. So that's why there is no proper documentation for the views part of the view. Although you can integrate it, there are some things you can integrate it, but obviously that's not the main concept of using Lumen. So the important question comes in front is like what we need to use, whether we are going to use the Lumen and or the Laravel. So first, if you are creating the application for creating the API for any client, then what is the requirement of the client? So if he is never going to have any feature apart from the API, like simply asking for the views concepts, then you will go with the Lumen. And if you are maybe in the future you may use some views part or some other things which are not in mainframe of creating the API, then you can use Laravel. But in my personal opinion, Laravel itself is super fast, and we are not going to create any next Facebook with using Lumen or Laravel, which will have a millions of visitors at a second for every second. It will not going to happen. And if maybe if that can be the case, then you can think about the Lumen. But if you are not having so high level of application, then go with the Laravel, because Laravel is super fast. It is if you create the API, that will work absolutely faster, and obviously you have the experience with the Laravel, so you will feel some personal touch with that. If you go with the Lumen, maybe some commands will not available, so you will feel little detached with the Lumen. But so my personal opinion is go with the Laravel for creating API. There is no you can say downside of using Laravel to create the API.
All right.
Uh,
So
yeah, maybe the other experts will uh, need to add something on that.
yeah, sure. So yes, Mitul, would you like to add on this question that when we should go for Lumen and when we should go for Laravel for the APIs?
Yeah, I think Sarthak already covered. The main point is like if you need just APIs and you are going to have too much traffic, then you go for Lumen. Otherwise, Laravel can be completely fine, because if you in future if you plan like you are going to have admin panel for APIs and backend and things like that, then you will need to again switch back to the Laravel rather than Lumen. Or there are some steps that you will need to follow to add more things like views and everything to Lumen. But yeah, if you are 100% confident this is just API and you are going to have massive traffic and you never need any view or that kind of thing, then go for Lumen. Otherwise, Laravel should be good enough.
Okay.
But
Thanks a lot.
yeah,
Grateful for your.
one thing more
Yep.
I add is Lumen is, as I said, it is basically for creating the API. So Lumen is useful when you are creating the micro services. So in microservices, you need to create some of the part of your application with some technology, and you're always 100% damn sure that you are going to create the APIs, just the APIs. In that case, if you're creating the microservices, then go with the Lumen.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Sarthak. Team, can you flash a question from Sarvil? Yeah, so the question is, which is the better to use between a passport and Laravel Sanctum? So I would like to ask Gaurav about this question. That first of all, can you tell the difference between both the tool, and then please answer this question, that which is the better to use?
All right. Yeah, there has been some confusion between these packages in the past. Now, initially it was Laravel Passport, and then we have Laravel Sanctum. First, we need to understand the reason for the existence of these packages. So let's start with Laravel Passport. Laravel Passport was mainly created for OAuth, I would say OAuth 2 protocol. And this is required when you want your application in a way where you want to allow third-party applications to make some changes in the user's data on behalf of them. And the very pretty easiest example to understand would be that when you are, let's say, playing a game on Facebook, you go there, you sign up, and then they just take you back to Facebook, and Facebook asks you that this game or Farmville or whatever game, they want to access your data, they want to be able to push updates to your timeline on behalf of you. Do you want to allow that, or do you want to prevent that? Another similar example would be in your Android application. When you install a new Android application, Android OS asks you that, okay, this application is just your installed, and they want access to your microphone, your camera, and stuff like that. So what happens is there is a third party who wants access to be able to do something on behalf of the user. This is, and for that, in the web stuff, there is OAuth 2 protocol that is being used by most of the big players. And to be able to use that protocol in your web applications, Laravel Passport was created. So you have a web application, you have your users as well, and then you want to let others do something in your application on behalf of those users, and that's when you use Passport. But many times what people want is they want to let their own users do something directly. And there are two very pretty simple use cases. First was the single page application. So when you make any single page application, your browser connects directly with your server using the API. And at that time, if you are not using the default Laravel session authentication, you do not have those basic authentication functionalities provided by the Laravel framework directly. So at that time, it was very hard for the people to do the authentication initially, and also to use that authentication in the future requests by the users. So at that time, people are using, we are using Laravel Passport for the same. Laravel Passport was tweaked in a way to allow that part of thing, but the main cause was not that one. And also the other example is the mobile application. If you also developed a mobile application for your web, for the web application that you created, at that time, mobile application guys want to be able to, when the user logs into the mobile application, they want a token or something using which they can do something in your web server, or a web application, or I would say basically your database. And at that time, mobile application is actually not the third party, but people were using Laravel Passport for the same. And recently, before making this Laravel Sanctum, Taylor Otwell, creator of Laravel, thought that there is no simpler way to do this single page application integration as well as mobile application integration in your Laravel applications. It was very hard. Some people were using Laravel Passport, some people were trying to do it manually because Laravel Passport was not clear enough, was not made for it actually. So that is why Taylor Otwell created Laravel Airlock. And later on, it was renamed to Laravel Sanctum because of the copywriting issues and all that stuff. But Sanctum is actually made for the same thing, which is allowing first party to do something on behalf of those users. And first party is basically single page application and also mobile application, which is created by you or your own team. So whenever you want OAuth 2 functionality, which is something like Facebook, an Android example that I gave, which is third party, which you cannot necessarily trust, at that time you use Laravel Passport. And when you want to do something for the first party, which is what we want in most of the cases in the basic projects, which is single page application or mobile application, you should go for Laravel Sanctum.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that was really detailed answer, Gaurav, and I'm sure our audience will understand now what is the difference between a Laravel Passport and Laravel Sanctum and when to use that. Okay. Team, can we have the next question, which was there on Laravel Livewire? Okay. So the question from Vishal Tumar is the Laravel Livewire best for complicated projects? Mitul, I would like to answer you this question. First of all, give a brief information about what is Laravel Livewire, and then please answer the question from Vishal.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, Laravel Livewire. This word got a huge attraction in few past months, I will say. So, what Laravel Livewire is basically, we are saying like Livewire is another framework on top of Laravel, but not a framework. We can say like full stack framework or MVC framework, something like that. So, it is for a people who are coming from a PHP background, I will say. So just imagine we have something on a screen that we want to refresh whenever something happens. So say like when I write a comment, I want to hit a button, and then without refreshing the screen, I want to add that comment to some container or at the last. Or for example, the best functionality we all implement is search, the very basic functionality which is needed in almost all the applications. So when we write something, it should filter the results. So there are, and what we do to do that or to achieve that is basically write Ajax calls and use jQueries and something like that. So basically what you need to have the knowledge of jQuery. That is what you need, and knowledge of Ajax as well. And in right now, the trend is we call SPA, which is SPA, single page applications, which is trending where nobody want to leave a page, but they want to see things happen on the screen right there without leaving the screen or refreshing the screen. So Livewire is built on that concept where, without leaving the comfort zone of your PHP, of your Laravel stack, you can make this thing happens. And underneath, the Livewire will do everything that is needed to achieve that. So it will do everything that is needed, like the Ajax calls and whatever is needed uh, behind the scene, I will say. So
Okay.
that is what basically the Livewire is. Now, coming to the question, is Laravel Livewire best for complicated projects? So, I will say you don't see Livewire as a full stack framework that you should use or you must use in your application. Rather than that, how we are using Livewire is you see something or you see the piece of functionality that you want to build. Because what Livewire is basically is all about components. So in Livewire, you can create components that can be used into your Laravel application. So you go for small piece of functionality that can be achieved, or that's where you need some JavaScript magic, right? And you are not coming from that JavaScript stack. So you go for it, you extract out that functionality, and you try to create a component into Livewire. So it is not about, complexity or a big project or something like that. It is just about how you can create or how you can convert some code into Livewire component where you are not needed to write any JavaScript logic. So that is how you should craft your project, and you should create, Livewire components. And even it can be nested. It is just not like it can be small components. So that is how you can use Livewire in your big projects, small projects, enterprise projects, easy projects, or complicated projects. It can be same everywhere. So it is best suitable for every kind of projects.
Okay. All right. That's a really detailed answer, Mitul, and hope we have answered the query for Vishal as well as for the all the audience, and you know that what is the live wire and which which whether it is suitable for the large project or not.
Hey, I would like to add something.
Yeah, sure, Sharta, go ahead.
Okay, so basically, Livewire, Middle has explained everything, and I really love Livewire. It's a really magical thing, but I feel there's two problems with the Livewire. One is it uses Ajax request almost for everything, not almost for everything, 100% everything. So if you are filling up a form, if you have a keystrokes, like if you want to fill your name, if your name has 10 letters, then you are going to hit 10 Ajax requests. Yes, there is some feature that you can delay something, and there are some things which you can do, but almost everything is Ajax. So there are lots and lots of Ajax requests, and you are eating the resource of your server. One is this. Again, it's not a big problem, but I feel this is a problem. Second is if you created something with the Laravel Livewire, so you have to create the component, and Livewire has also routing system, so it will create every route out everything for you, and that's exactly the problem. What if later I want to convert that same project or the same functionality in, let's say, in a Vue or React or somewhere else, or maybe for just for using Blade, I want to use, let's say, jQuery. Yeah, don't shout at jQuery, but let's say I want to use it. But so how will I do? I need to rewrite everything from the scratch, and that's the two problem I feel. So, in my opinion, the best place to use Laravel Livewire is for the dashboard, because dashboard doesn't have too much of complication, or maybe if it has, you can easily change it later, because there are very less user on any dashboard. So personally, my Bitfume's dashboard or admin panel is created, is converted totally with the, into the Livewire. So there is a place, but I would not going to suggest for a complicated or a big project to work with the Livewire because of these two problems.
Okay. All right, Sarthak. Thanks for that the information. And team, can we have the next question, please? Okay, so next question is from the Albert again, and the question is, what is the best way to handle multi-threaded processing of the jobs in Laravel using Redis and Horizon? All right, so experts, would you like to give input to this question?
All right. So multi-threading. Now there is some confusion here. Maybe for me, multi-threading is something not supported uh, by default in PHP and Laravel, I believe. There is another framework called React PHP for that. And when we talk about jobs or queued jobs, I would say, if the question is only about that, where let's say we want to do lots of things with in queued jobs, then yeah, personally, I do use Redis and Horizon in the production applications, and it has been very good. So, and also other people in the community are using that and to perform thousands of jobs every minute, and it is doing very good. Overall performance of Laravel queued jobs with the use of Redis and to see everything on Horizon has been very good, and it works in most of the cases. That's what I have to say.
All right. Sarthak, Mitul, would you like to add anything over here?
Yeah, again, as the Gaurav said, multi-threading is a misleading thing in this question. But the best way is to use Redis and Horizon, because Horizon will handle all of your jobs, and there are many strategies in Horizon you can configure according to your need. And I would suggest, if you have a big project, you're having lots and lots of jobs, then separate out that job and Redis things into its own dedicated server, and that will make your project faster. And I think that is the whole, you can say, the question, the main motive of this question is to process all the things faster, so that way you can make it faster.
Right. Thanks, Sarthak, for this answer. Now, team, can we have the next question, please? Okay, so next question is from the from Jignesh. In production, can we upload .env file or not by default? Add on to git ignore file. Right. Right, experts, would you like to comment on this question?
I will say you never upload your .env file to Git. It should be always in Git ignore because
Exactly.
you can not add your credentials directly to your repo.
That's right.
So
That's right.
that is
Because
recommended. Yeah.
yes, .env file has lots of credentials and lots of secure things. So definitely we should not add it into the repository. And the best practices would be to create the environment file separately on the servers. And every server has a different environment. So create separate environment file for your every server. Right. Okay. Team, please next. Can we have next question? Okay, we have a question from Sahil. Which is the best approach for starting any new project in Laravel for medium to large project? Right. So, experts, any comment on this?
All right. Now, uh, again, this is like an open-ended question. Best approach, but what are the options here? It can go into any direction, right? I would say again, as I said in one of the previous questions, there is no right way, or I would also say there is no best approach to anything. It really depends on what project you are doing. Just like in the previous question, for Laravel Livewire, people have different opinions, and it is true because based on what thing you are doing, it just depends. So you should just start with the basics if you're not sure, or if you're asking this question to for a specific project, then just have some more details. Maybe just get ready with some more details about what questions do you have, which thing of this project is what you are not sure about at that time, and also what options do you want to choose from, if there are any specific options. So there is no right way. That's one thing that everyone needs to remember, is that there is no silver bullet to any of the Laravel questions, or take any technology. Everything has its own pros and cons. You have to choose what suits you the best based on what you are trying to do. That's what I have to say here.
All right. Right. So yeah, that's the best approach as and as we already have discussed earlier in this session, that what is the best way to learn Laravel and what is the best approach to get expertise in the Laravel. So if you are starting any project in the Laravel, then if you follow that approach, then I think there should not be any issue on executing the project on the Laravel. All right, team, can we have the next question? Okay, so next question is from the Sagar, which is when we should use domain structure in our project. And now this question is a little bit related to the multi-tenancy. So when you are working when you are creating an enterprise Laravel project, maybe we would like to have multi-tenancy, like the different domain has different data and that kind of thing. So, Mitul, would you like to answer this question? First of all, can you tell us like how we can achieve multi-tenancy in Laravel, and then ask this question? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So multi-tenancy, so that is something where you can, or you have some requirements like where you have lots of data specific to specific tenant. So what we generally do, like say I have one, if we say this is mostly used in kind of systems where we are targeting about some companies or some accounts, something like that, where they can have, so we can treat that as a tenant. So there is one organization, there is one company, you can treat it as a tenant, and that tenant can have his own set of users. That users can be shared across tenants, or he can have his own tenant profile, something like that. So tenant is something you can treat as account or a company or organization, something like that, and which can have its set of own data. So that is something like called multi-tenancy. Now what we do to achieve that is, what we need to do, if we go with one single database, right, we need to add say account ID, company ID, or organization ID to every single table that we are going to use. And whenever any user is using application, we need to always make sure that we have added a tenant ID into the query in all of our queries. There are lots of ways, like you can create global scope and something like that, but that is how it should be used, right? So that is still not secure. Just imagine if you forgot at one place to add account ID, and what will happen, right? You need to make sure everywhere that field is filtered. So the another approach that most of people prefer is, like, having a separate database for every single tenant. And that is where we can see the domain URL. So say, like, it can be, like mitul dot laravel.com, hiran.laravel.com, something like that, where hiran and mitul are one tenant. So that is something that is domain specific. So whenever someone is browsing any URL, then you can, set its tenant, like from which tenant the user is trying to retrieve the data. And to achieve that, right now, I think lots of good packages are available. Even Sparshy released recently one package which is really good. Even there is some package called Tenancy. There is another one good package which is recently released. I just forgot the name, but it is providing the full set of, tenancy boilerplate as well. So I will say, like, when you are working with that kind of applications, so CRM systems, some ERP systems, something like that, where they can have its own set of data, then you can go with the multi-tenant approach. The best part is when you go with multi-tenant with multiple databases. Even you can go for single database as well, but with multiple databases you don't need to care about too much about leaking your data to of one tenant to another tenant. So because it has its own set of data, and it can really achieve that. It is kind of a various or a large topic which can be discussed, because you need to handle lots of things like jobs, commands. It should be tenant aware, not tenant aware, that kind of things. Even your applications, media upload structure, that kind of thing. So choose it wisely if you really need it or you don't need it. Or if your application is really small, not too many tables, then you can go with single database approach as well. There is nothing wrong in that. And even you can go with multi-tenant approach without subdomain pattern as well. Like you can just use laravel.com, and you can still use separate databases. So there are ways to do that, and we have even recently did that. I have even wrote a blog on that, how you can do that with Sparsys package. So yeah, you can go on my blog that I just shared the link previously, and you can read that. But yeah, I will say be wise, and really think. If you really need multi-tenant approach and this domain pattern, then you go for it.
All right. Okay, thanks a lot, Mitul, for explaining what the multi-tenancy is and how we can achieve multi-tenancy in the Laravel project, and answering this question from Sagar. Now, there is one question which was recorded in our form which we have circulated before this event. The question is from Krishan. The question is, what is the pros and cons of HTML form builder package? So what are the advantages of and disadvantages of HTML form builder package in Laravel? So experts, any comment on this?
I think I think there is no big advantage of using HTML uh, form builder package. But yeah, you can use it since if you're creating any sorry, if you're creating any APIs, because nowadays everything is a single page application, they just create API. You really don't need that. That's in my opinion. There's no benefit or loss of it. Maybe Gaurav can suggest something.
Yeah, like in my generator, it is already has a dependency of HTML builder package from Laravel Collective, and we are using it. So far, I haven't found anything that is problematic, or I can say disadvantage. It has advantage only, or where you don't need to write, like long HTML, and it will just generate you for it. So yeah, so far I haven't found anything that I can say disadvantage.
Okay, all right. Okay, uh, fine. Okay, and there was one more question recorded in our Google form, which is from Vinay Prajapati. Now the question is what is the impact of the PHP in? since the
Oh, रख दीजिए
Microsoft.
ना, भूल गया यार, बाप रे. Thank you.
Sorry, Gaurav, you are saying something?
Sorry, someone just arrived, so
Okay,
I
okay, okay.
missed the
Yeah,
question. Sorry for that.
yeah. So the question, I am repeating the question from Vinay Prajapati. The question is that since the Microsoft has announced that it will drop the official support of PHP on Windows,
Uh-huh.
so now the question is like he want to know that what is the impact of this? What could be the impact of this? So yeah, uh, would you like to share anything on this?
Uh, well, it should not affect really. It is. There was a detailed article about this on Laravel News as well. Let me quickly share the link about this. Uh, I'll share directly on YouTube where I'm live. So, mostly, first of all, we always do the development and also deploy on most of the cases in Linux environments. That's number one. Secondly, as it is mentioned in the article in Laravel News, Microsoft has just said that they will not officially support the PHP distros that they are providing support for, but it does not mean that no one else will do it. And also, most of the cases, people are using developing on Windows using something like maybe XAMPP or other options, and it will continue to work. So this does not mean that PHP will not work on Windows. No, this just means that there is a there is someone who is providing the PHP distros, who is again a big player called Windows, but it's just one of the players. So it should really not affect any. We do not need to worry about it at all.
Okay. Great, great. Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. Since Microsoft has announced that they will not support, but yeah, that does not affect the development of Laravel or any other PHP related framework or the core PHP project. Okay. Sarthak, since we have taken lots of questions and lots of questions has been discussed, and as we have announced that you will be selecting one of the or one of someone from the audience that who has asked the really interesting question and who has been available all throughout the session. So, would you like to announce the name of a person who is the winner of your project of your course?
Yeah, sure. Before that, let me tell you about the course. So, course is called In-Depth Laravel course, and it's indepthlaravel.com. You will find everything on there. And this course is for beginners and intermediate people who want to upgrade their skills. So we have started from basically what is Laravel, how to install Laravel, from moving till creating two big project. One is URL shortener project. It's a properly real project using the integrated view that someone has also asked about that. So we have used the integrated Vue.js with the Laravel to create the URL shortener project. We have not created an API properly. There is a API, but that was not proper. So we have created that and we have hosted that website on Laravel Forge and using the subdomain. Next, we have a one again on one project which is called Event Dialect Ticket Selling System, where we are going to see how we can have the payment gateway and creating a real application, real API with a real front end using Next.js. So this will be a totally different aspect of a project. And a third very nice thing is about the course is having a TDD of blog. So test driven development, from what is test driven, what how to use PHP unit to writing the 50, 60, 100 tests for creating a simple blog. So this is a course I have created, and this is totally 32-hour code. But because I thought it will be good if I can share it with someone who is super active on our chat currently. So I saw that Sagar Naliapara, I think is his
Okay.
name. So Sagar is the winner because he has asked a very nice question. Plus, he is very active in the chat section. He is helping others. He is asking so many other questions and he's giving suggestions. So this is the thing we actually need in our community. you need to be super active. I will be glad if I have to choose from two or three super active people. That will be a challenge for me, and that challenge will make me happy if I had to. But no worries, we can learn from here. So Sagar is the winner of the course. So he will uh, just get this course for free from my side.
All right, that's great. That's great. Congratulations, Sagar. If you're hearing this, that you are the winner of today's session, and you will get an access to in-depth Laravel course by Sarthak. I would request you to share your email address in the private message on our Laravel AHM Twitter, so our team member can get your email address and can give you the access. So please send a private message to Laravel AHM on the Twitter, and we will get your email address from there. So yes, so yeah, that was, yes, really a great session, and now it's time to wrap up the session. So I would like to thank all the experts who have joined today. That this was really an exciting and interesting session, that we discussed a lot of things on Laravel, like how to start working on the Laravel, what are the best practices. We have covered a really good questions from the audience, and from all the audience who has asked the questions earlier. And definitely this is some, if the some questions are missed, then definitely I would like to apologize to those audience. And if some questions are missed, then what we are going to do is that we are going to answer those questions with your name on our Twitter account, so you can get your answer from there. So do follow us on Twitter, which is twitter.com/laravel ahm. And if any questions is missed in today's session, then we will answer it over there. So you will come to know about uh, the answer. So yeah, so let me thank again Sarthak first for that surprise gift that he
Uh,
has sponsored. And yeah, that was
Great.
really good.
Sorry to disturb you, because I think we have decided to give two license of this course. So
Okay.
one has given to Sagar, and
Mhm.
we need to choose one more, and that one we will choose from the form they have filled, the Google Doc we have distributed, and
Okay.
we got really nice questions, and we have answered some of the questions here in this session. And the
Good.
best question I got, which is the impact of PHP when the Microsoft announces the drop of
Okay.
the support.
Okay.
I would like to say why I have chosen this, because I already got many requests, many questions and messages from various people from around the globe, that what will be the effect, and this is the question which is needed in this session, because I think everyone had that question, why we need, what we need to do when Microsoft dropped the support. So this question, I think, asked by Vinay Prajapati.
Yes.
So I think I would like to give one license to Vinay also for asking a nice question, which is helping everyone. So once
Okay.
again, congratulations to Vinay also, and
All right.
same Vinay. Vinay has to share the credentials on our Twitter handle.
All right. That's great, Sarthak. Thank you for this. And yes, so congratulations, Vinay, if you are there in this session. And we do have email address of Vinay in the form, so definitely we can send an email to him that he is the winner. And yes, and Sagar. So congratulations to Sagar and Vinay Prajapati for access to in-depth course by Sarthak. And yes, so I would like to thank all our experts today, Mitul, Gaurav, Sarthak. Thanks for having a time, and thanks for spending a time for us and for this panel discussion and the AMS session. It was really great, really engaging, really exciting. And I hope all of our audiences who is watching this session and who is going to watch this session later on the YouTube will get a lot of benefit out of this. And as we have covered a lot of things on the Laravel, and this session does not end over here. If you have any questions related to Laravel, do follow us or do post those questions in our Slack channel. You can message on our Twitter account, and we are there to help you in terms of your Laravel queries at any time. Our all mentors and all experts are very much active on the Twitter. You can approach them directly over the Twitter, or you can approach us and we will contact them for you. So don't hesitate, just give us your question and we will definitely help you. And yes, so we are posting the Slack link in the YouTube comments. So if anyone is not there on the Slack, they can join our Slack channel over there and ask your questions over there. And do follow us on the Twitter as well. So in future we are planning lots of such sessions and events from Laravel Live Ahmedabad, so you get an updates on what all things we are planning in the future for you. And do give us your feedback on what type of sessions you are looking for. And we always encourage our community members to be a speaker in the session. So if anyone is looking for any such opportunity that you want to be a speaker or you want to share your knowledge with the community, do reach out to us. We are always up for, and we are always looking for new speaker. And so give us your suggestion and we will definitely consider it, right? So yes, with that, let's end this session over here. Again, would like to thank all the experts, Mitul, Gaurav, Sarthak. Thanks for having time for us, and thanks for answering all the questions thanks for answering all the questions of our audiences. Thanks for sharing your knowledge, thanks for sharing the important tips of uh, Laravel development. It was really a great session, and personally, I have also learned so many things from you guys, right? And I'm sure our audience will also get benefit out of this session, right? So yes, thank you everyone for joining today, and I would like to thank my entire team of Laravel Live Ahmedabad, who is working over the back end for managing this stream. Bhavesh, Chirag, Bhavdeep, Akram, and all Murtuza, all of our team member who are managing this from the back end. So yes, thank you very much, and do follow us for more updates, and we will definitely get back to you in terms of uh, the more exciting sessions. So yes, once again, thank you, Mitul, Gaurav, Sarthak. Would you like to share anything for this session or any feedback for you guys from you guys?
Uh, no, that's it. It was very nice, and surely we can have more of them. There is a lot of learning here. So yeah, sure. It was very nice. Loved it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks, Gaurav.
Yeah,
Sarthak,
thank you guys.
Middle your thing.
yeah.
No, yeah, it was all amazing to have these all questions and all discussions. And yeah, we can have some more in future. And yeah, thank you for this opportunity as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Muthu.
also from my side also, this was a great, really great. Really learned some new things from Middle and Gaurav, because I personally doesn't have any large scale project experience, and learning from these two guys is really awesome. And many people doesn't know that. Freak was there on our chat when we were discussing about the cron job, because he has created a nice package which can monitor your cron job. And so that was the really amazing thing, that someone from the Laravel community, some big name from the community will was there on our session. So that was really great. So this can be treated as a success for this session.
Okay, thanks a lot, Sarthak, and a big thank you for our team member Bhavesh, who is managing this stream from the backend and helping in terms of executing this session entirely. And to all our team members of Laravel and Laravel Lab Ahmedabad, thank you once again for this support and having a great session. Right. So yeah, Bhavesh, would you like to share anything?
Uh, like this was an amazing session from our experts like Mitul, Sarthak, Gaurav, and very well managed by Hiren. And one thing I would like to say to Sagar, if he's hearing, you have been selected as a winner, and very congratulations to you. And thanks to this our sponsor Sarthak for choosing this way, which will encourage more and more user to be participating. The Sagar, direct message to you is like I have changed the setting in the Twitter, so you can now direct message me on the Twitter. I am trying to reaching at you as possible as I can. So the main thing is like that the our winner do not get so we can say do not delay to get their course. And overall, very much congratulations to all our experts and our moderator. This is the thing I want to say.
All right, all right. Thanks a lot, Bharat. And yeah, with that, we can end our session now, and we look forward to our next session in upcoming months. So do follow us and stay tuned for a lot of exciting sessions and more updates from us. So thank you again, the entire team and all our experts. Thank you very much. It was great to have you all with us. And yeah, we will see you later. Thank you.